My name is Naomi Brooks. I'm 26. And if you had met me 2 years ago, you would have thought I had everything under control. From the outside, I looked unstoppable. But behind closed doors, the truth was far different. I woke up every day at 5:30 a.m., sharp, ironed my skirt, straightened my hair until the smell of burning coils filled my tiny apartment, and rehearsed my corporate smile in the bathroom mirror. Soft, I whispered to myself. Not intimidating. Don't look tired. Don't look angry. Don't look too black. Because in the world of corporate consulting, your skin color walks into the room before you do. And your hair? God forbid your hair is honest. People think discrimination happens in explosions. Shouting, slurs, open hatred. But sometimes it happens like a slow leak. Quiet, constant, deadly. When I first joined Larkwell and Tate, I thought I had finally escaped all that. The office was sleek, glass everywhere, sunlight spilling onto polished floors, everyone talked fast, thought fast, moved fast, the kind of place where ideas felt like electricity in the air. I told myself, this is my chance, don't ruin it. I was the youngest hire in my department, the only black woman, the only one from a low-income neighborhood, the only one with a student loan that could kill a rhino. I worked like a machine, skipped lunches, slept 3 hours a night, memorized data tables in the shower. And it paid off. Clients requested me by name. Coworkers asked me for help. Even upper management nodded politely when I passed. I thought I was safe. But belonging, I would soon learn, is an illusion. Everything began collapsing the day I overslept. My straightener had died in the middle of the night, burned out, the cord fizzled, useless. For the first time in a year, I didn't have the time, energy, or tools to fight my curls into submission. So I washed my hair, let it air dry, and watched the coils grow upward like a crown taking its rightful shape. I remember staring at myself in the mirror and thinking, this is me. This is home. This is the girl I've been hiding. It felt right. A dangerous kind of right. I walked into the office feeling almost proud, until everyone stared. Not the kind of curious glance you give someone with a new haircut.
No.
This was the stare of people watching a fire alarm go off. My manager, Claire, paused mid-sentence when she saw me. Naomi, your hair is different today. I smiled politely. Yeah. Let's talk in my office, she interrupted. Her voice had that sugary corporate politeness that hides a blade underneath. And what happened next changed everything for me, and no one saw it coming. Inside her office, the blinds were half closed, casting the room in slanted, uncomfortable shadows. Claire folded her hands and gave me a concerned mentor look. I just want to make sure you understand our expectations, she began. My performance? I asked. Not that, she said quickly. Your presentation. I felt heat crawl up my neck. My presentation is exactly the same. She gave a tight smile. You know what I mean? I did. God, I did. You represent this company in client meetings, Claire continued, voice soft like she was afraid I might break. We need to maintain a certain standard of professionalism. I blinked. Are you saying my natural hair is unprofessional? She didn't answer, which was answer enough. I straighten my hair every day, I said quietly. Today I couldn't. Claire leaned forward. Honey, you need to understand the reality of this industry. Clients have expectations. I stared. She was using the same tone my high school counselor used when she told me my attitude was too much for AP classes. The same tone white women use when they smile while betraying you. And suddenly, I wasn't in that office. I was 13 again, sitting in a cracked leather chair while a teacher told me my braids distracted other girls. My stomach twisted. Until we resolve this, Claire said gently, we'll have to place you on temporary leave. The words hit like a slap. Leave? For my hair? For your presentation, she corrected softly. The distinction didn't matter. The wound was the same. I walked out of her office numb, heart pounding in my ears. I didn't know whether I wanted to cry, scream, or disappear. But by the time I stepped outside into the cold air, something else rose inside me. Not fear, not grief. Something sharper, colder, older. something my grandmother used to call fire in the blood. I walked back to my apartment and sat on the couch, hands shaking, staring at the wall. And that's when it happened. The knock on my door. I froze.
Soft. Slow.
Almost hesitant. For a second, fear flickered through me. A memory of long nights working as a bartender during college, walking home at 3 a.m., always checking over my shoulder. I took a breath and opened the door. A woman stood there.
Tall.
Regal. Dark skin glowing like obsidian in the hallway light. Hair in a magnificent halo of coils and curls that framed her face like a lion's mane. And I knew her. Everyone knew her. Dr. Aaliyah Henderson, the CEO of the biggest Black-owned beauty startup in the country. The woman who had built a hair care empire out of her garage. She smiled softly. Rough day, huh? I stared. My mouth wouldn't move. She lifted a folded newspaper and held it out to me. On the front page, consulting firm under fire for racial bias after employees sent home for natural hair. My heart stopped. The article mentioned my name, my position, the phrase unprofessional hair, and a statement from an anonymous employee. Aaliyah stepped closer. You didn't ask for this attention, she said gently, but you're going to use it if you want to. I swallowed hard. How did you know where I live? She smiled. Baby, when a Black woman gets punished for her hair, the whole community hears it before lunch. I almost laughed. Almost cried. Instead, I whispered, I don't know what to do. Aaliyah nodded slowly. You will, just not yet. She glanced at my curls. They fired you because they were afraid of your crown, she said, but crowns aren't meant to be tamed. She reached into her bag and handed me a business card. Come by my office tomorrow. I think we can help each other. I stared at the card, at her, at my own reflection in her sunglasses. And for the first time all day, I felt something like hope. Aaliyah turned to leave. Just before she stepped into the elevator, she said, Naomi, you're not the victim in this story. You're the beginning. The elevator doors closed. And I stood there, holding my breath, holding the card, holding the first spark of a revolution I didn't know I was about to start. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Claire's face. Soft smile, hard eyes. The kind of smile people give you right before pushing you off a cliff. I also saw Aaliyah's face. Her calm certainty. Her voice like someone who'd already lived my life and survived it. By 7 a.m., I was sitting on my couch, staring at the business card like it might evaporate. Aaliyah Henderson, founder and CEO, Crown Beauty Labs. Her company had exploded over the last 3 years. But not the fairy tale kind of explosion. People forget she started in a basement. People forget the death threats. People forget the lawsuit from 3 white-owned competitors who claimed her products created racial division. People forget the way she walked into court with her natural hair braided up like armor. People forget the way she won. She had become a legend.
Me?
I was just a girl with shaking hands and a ruined career. I showered, got dressed, and left my apartment. Outside, the air tasted sharp, cold, metallic, like a new beginning and a funeral wrapped into one. Aaliyah's office looked nothing like Larkwell and Tate. No cold chrome. No sterile glass walls. No silent halls where ambition felt like blood in the air. Instead, it smelled like shea butter, warm sugar, a lavender oil, and something like cocoa on a winter morning. The lobby had soft couches, art from local Black painters, warm lighting. It felt like someone's home. Someone who actually wanted you there. A receptionist smiled when she saw me. You must be Naomi. Dr. Henderson is expecting you. Expecting me? My heart skipped. I followed her into a glass-walled conference room where the sunlight hit the wooden table just right, casting a golden glow across the room. Aaliyah walked in 2 minutes later. No makeup. No jewelry except a simple ring. Hair loose, massive, glorious. Sit, she said gently, pulling out a chair for me. Let's talk. I sat. She sat across from me. Her eyes scanned me the way doctors scanned an X-ray. Not searching for weakness, but understanding the damage. So, she said, tell me what happened, all of it. I took a deep breath, and I told her how the office stared at me, how Claire brought me into the shadowed room, how she used the word presentation, how she said client expectations, how she suspended me for my hair, how it felt like a trap disguised as a compliment. Aaliyah didn't interrupt. Not once. She just listened. When I finished, she leaned back, folded her hands, and nodded slowly. I've heard this story 100 times, she said, but never told with your kind of fire. Fire? I felt like I'd been drowning for days. I'm ruined, I whispered. What am I supposed to do? I can't fight a corporation. Aaliyah smiled. Oh, sweetheart, you don't fight the corporation. She leaned forward. You replace it. My chest tightened. I don't understand. You will, she said, but first, I need to tell you something you won't want to hear. She inhaled, her face suddenly serious. You weren't the first black woman they sent home. The room felt colder. What do you mean? Aaliyah slid a folder across the table. Inside were screenshots, emails, anonymous statements, HR cases that were closed suspiciously fast, all involving black women, all involving comments about hair, attitude, or not the right image. My stomach twisted. Aaliyah watched my reaction. They've been doing this for years, she said, hiring black women to seem progressive, then quietly pushing them out when they don't fit the brand. My blood ran cold. But why me? Why now? Aaliyah gave me a look that made my heart drop. Because, she said softly, you hold something they want. I blinked. What? She slid a second folder toward me. When you were at Larkwell, Aaliyah said, you worked on a marketing proposal for Avian Cosmetics, right? I froze. How do you know that? She didn't answer. I opened the folder.
Inside were my drafts.
My exact slides. My ideas. My strategy notes. The same ones I had submitted 6 weeks ago. But the printout wasn't from Larkwell and Tate. It was from Crown Beauty Labs. What is this? I whispered. Aaliyah leaned back. Naomi, that proposal was brilliant, revolutionary. You built a cultural branding framework in 2 weeks that Harvard professors would take 8 months to research. My chest tightened. You're a strategist, she continued. A once-in-a-generation one. You're not just anything. Her voice was firm. Not loud. Not harsh. But unshakably true. Larkwell didn't suspend you because of your hair, she said quietly. They suspended you because you became a threat. The room blurred. I felt myself sinking, floating, falling. Naomi, Aaliyah said softly, they were preparing to steal your work, just like they stole from the women before you. Sending you home was their first move. I covered my mouth with my hands. It suddenly made sense. Claire's strange hesitation. The way the team started whispering. The meeting I got excluded from. The email my coworker accidentally forwarded to me then unsent. I wasn't imagining it. I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't unstable. I was right. Aaliyah's voice cut through my spiraling thoughts. So here's my offer. She folded her hands on the table. Work for me. My heart stopped. I want you, she continued. Your mind. Your fire. Your vision. I swallowed hard. What exactly would I do? Aaliyah smiled. You'd be my director of brand strategy.
Director.
Direct. I almost laughed out loud. I'm 26, I whispered. I'm not qualified. You are, she said. Because I decide who is qualified. But nothing. Aaliyah stood, walked behind me, and gently lifted a curl from my shoulder. This hair, she said softly, this mind, this spine, they thought these made you weak. She let the curl fall. They were wrong. I felt tears burn behind my eyelids. Aaliyah walked back to her seat. Naomi, she said, if you say yes, we take everything they tried to bury and build something so big they'll wish they never touched you. My heartbeat thundered. Lightning.
Fire. Fear. Power.
All in one. My voice cracked. I don't know if I can. You can, she said, because you're angry, and anger is fuel. Her gaze sharpened. And because this is bigger than you. I exhaled shakily. Okay, I whispered. Yes. Aaliyah's smile widened. Good, then let's get to work. She slid a third folder toward me. The cover read, Project, Crowned Rising, Phase 1. Lead Strategist, Naomi Brooks. I opened it. My breath caught in my throat. Inside were photos. Of Claire. Of the CEO of Larkwell. Of board members. Of internal memos. Of stolen pitch decks. Of NDA violations. Of secret deals with competitors. The final page. When the time comes, you will be their boss. I looked up at Aaliyah. Her expression was calm. Dangerously calm. One more thing, she said. Her voice dropped to a near whisper. Someone inside Larkwell is trying to contact you. Someone who knows everything. Someone scared. I froze. Who? Aaliyah exhaled. We don't know yet. They used an encrypted email, but they said 3 words. She slid me a tiny note, in shaky handwriting. They're watching you. A chill rippled up my spine. Aaliyah placed a steady hand over mine. Naomi, she said softly. This is the part where the story gets dark. Darker than you expect. She met my eyes. But you're ready. Even if you don't know it yet. Aaliyah didn't let me go home right away. Instead, she walked me out of the conference room, down a hallway lined with photos of Black women executives, scientists, founders. Women whose names corporate America tried to bury, but she resurrected with pride. At the end of the hallway was a small office. My office. Warm light. Bookshelves. A deep green velvet couch. A desk made from reclaimed wood. A giant window overlooking the city. But the detail that froze me was the wall behind the desk. A massive framed poster that read, If they don't give you a seat at the table, build a damn bigger table. My throat tightened. How did you know I'd say yes? I whispered. Aaliyah smirked. I didn't, she said, but I hoped. She pushed the door wider. Go on, she said. Sit. I stepped inside. The air felt different, lighter, safer, and yet full of electricity. I set my hand on the desk. Smooth wood under my palm.
Real.
Solid.
Meaning.
Aaliyah leaned in the doorway, arms crossed. You will rebuild yourself here, she said. And then, you will help me tear down everything Larkwell pretended to be. She wasn't joking. She wasn't dramatic. She was deadly serious. I looked up at her, still overwhelmed. Aaliyah, why me? I asked quietly. Her eyes softened, but not like pity, like recognition. Because I was you, she said, 10 years ago, same story, same professional comments, same policies, same trap.
She paused.
And because I know what a Black woman looks like right before she rises. A small knock interrupted us. Aaliyah straightened.
Gomain.
A woman around my age entered, caramel skin, box braids, sharp eyeliner, holding a tablet. She smiled warmly. Naomi Brooks? Yes, I said, unsure. I'm Jasmine, she said. PR, brand protection, crisis response. Aaliyah asked me to get you set up. Crisis response? Aaliyah gave me a meaningful look. You'll need Jasmine, she said quietly. Trust me. I swallowed.
Hard.
Jasmine handed me the tablet. It's already synced with your email, project folders, encrypted messages, and internal comms, she said, but there's one thing we need to talk about right away. Aaliyah nodded. Show her. Jasmine tapped the screen. A window opened. A microphone icon. Waveform and a transcript. This is from this morning, Jasmine said, before you arrived. I felt a strange dread crawl through me. The recording began. Claire's voice.
Claire. Cold. Crisp.
Perfect diction, the kind you only get from privilege and power. I don't care what HR says. Naomi won't be returning. It's handled. And if she asks questions, bury her. My blood froze. Jasmine paused the audio. Aaliyah watched my face carefully. They're not just racist, she said. They're scared. And scared people make sloppy mistakes. Jasmine tapped another file. This one wasn't audio, it was video. Grainy. Security camera footage. Taken in the back stairwell of Larkwell and Tate.